I hauled 9 books. 6 of them I've already read before, but I enjoyed them so much that I wanted them for my shelf. And then 2 of them I got as a recommendation from another booktuber. And then the other one is one that I just wanted so badly that I went ahead and spent the $17 for the book. You guys know I am good for a good library book for $1. But I wanted the book, so I went ahead and paid full price, the $17 for the book. And then the other ones are used books from thriftbooks.com. They came in 4 separate packages. I don't know why, but they did. And I also got this cute little um, book bag if you order over $15. And it says Morally Gray Book Club. I was a little surprised that it was so tiny because it doesn't even look like it could actually hold the book. Not really. If you sit it down, it might fall over. But I can't complain. It was free. Thank you very much, Thrift Books. So let's get started. My name is Raquel. Welcome and welcome back. So the first book is going to be Perish by Latoya Watkins. This book is super heavy. I read the book, and so on the surface, I do know what this book is about. It is about this lady who was in an outhouse. This is way back in the day, and she has some sort of spiritual awakening. I'm not sure what's going on in the outhouse, but something happens to her in the outhouse. And that is the catalyst for a generational curse that happens throughout her family. So I believe it's like 4 generations or maybe 5 generations of her family are cursed with this thing, whatever happened to her in this outhouse. And she is uh, sick and she is going to pass away. So these 4 women who are her daughters and granddaughters, I'm not sure which ones are her daughters and which ones are granddaughters, but they're coming to see her before she passes away. And once they get there, they learn all of these family secrets. They start coming to light. And so this is a very heavy book. If you want to read this, you better check the trigger warnings because it is very heavy. So I want to read the book again, and I want to take my time, not only because I only know what happened on the surface, but because there is so much happening in this book, I could not keep up. I think by the time I really I'm not even gonna say I really understand, but by the time I could halfway figure out what was going on, I was more than halfway through the book. And so I do want to read this again. And of course, I want it for my shelf as well. That's why I picked it up. And then we have Anywhere to Run, which is a book I recently read a couple of weeks ago. This was so good. It was about 2 sisters. One of the sisters violent. She is assaulted by this white man. She then kills him. This is Jim Crow South in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. She kills this man and runs off because if she doesn't run away, if they figure out that she killed him, they are likely to hang her. And so she runs away, and then her sister, who is the good girl, who is doing what she is supposed to, who wants to go to law school. She has a good job, as they call it. And she winds up running off because she is afraid that if they cannot find her sister, then they will accuse her. And then she runs the risk of them taking her life as well. This was a really, really good book. It is thriller and suspense. And there are a couple plot twists in here that I did not expect. But it's really good. It's so good. I wanted it for my shelf, so I bought it. And then I have Sing Unburied Song by Jasmine Ward. I only bought this because I have the other 3 books that go with it. I have no clue what it's about, but I wanted it for my shelf. Now, this one was a ridiculous buy, but I did buy it for that reason. And then we have Moonrise over New Jessup, which this book I truly enjoyed. I did a video on this book. I want to read it again. I'm going to read it again. This one is about a all black town where this lady comes to town, and she is used to going into the back doors and different things like that. But she goes to this all black town, and she is now living a different life than the one she used to live, because everybody in the town is black. So you don't have to go through back doors and drink through specific water fountains and all those different things. But the deeper thing with this is they are helping people to vote, and they want to keep the town all black. So the original founders of this town, New Jessup, have passed away, and then their children are the parents of the children. Well, they're not children; they're adults, but the parents of the children who want to keep the town all black, but they want to um, have like, okay, so New Jessup, and then there's a Jessup. When New Jessup pays their taxes, it goes to help Jessup as well as New Jessup. They want to change that. They want to have their taxes pay for New Jessup and Jessup pay their own taxes. But Jessup is the white side of town, so they have the mayor's office and the, this, the, that, and whatever that's connected to politics. They want to have all these things over in New Jessup. And so that next generation is working to do that. However, the older generation, their parents, they're keeping it a secret because their parents are under the impression that they are trying to integrate the town, which nobody wants. So they are misunderstanding what's happening. This is a great book. And then I got One Summer in Savannah. This was also a great book. If you have not read One Summer in Savannah, it is a great book. It is about this lady who is assaulted by one of a set of twins. She leaves and moves to Iowa because Iowa has laws that will protect her based on her needs. And her father is ill, so she decides to come back to help take care of her father, but also to confront the family of the man who assaulted her. And she bumps into who she thinks is the man who assaulted her, but it's actually his twin brother. She did not know he had a twin. This is a great book. I enjoyed it. It was things happening in this book that I did not expect, and it is. No, I think this is women's fiction. I do not believe that this is a thriller and suspense, but it is a great book. And then we have The House of Eve. And I'm sure everybody in America has read The House of Eve as well as some of these other books. But I originally DNF'd this book. I DNF'd this book. I started to read and I was like, what the heck is happening here? Um, and so I put it away. I was on Facebook one day and the question was, what are you reading? Somebody said they were reading The House of Eve. I said, I DNF'd that book. She implored me to go back and get it. She said it was a great book. I went back and I read it and I love it. And here we are today putting it on my shelf. And then the book is called Life is Short But Wide by J. California Cooper. And so this is the book recommendation that I got from a booktuber. And I can't say specifically it was a recommendation because she didn't say read this book. What she said was she had thrifted the book and that she loved the author. And in the comments, everybody was raving about how much they like J. California Cooper. So I decided I wanted to read it. I want to see, like, who doesn't want to read a good book? So, yeah, the way they were talking about it, like in the comments, she's got to be a great writer. It's got to be a great book. So I chose this one based off of the synopsis, which says, give me 1 second. It says, like the small towns J. California Cooper has so vividly portrayed in her precious novels and story collection, Wideland, Oklahoma is home to the ordinary American struggling to raise families, eke out a living, and fulfill their dreams. In the early 20th century, Irene and Val fall in love in Wideland, while carving out a home for themselves. They also allow neighbors Bertha and Joseph to build a house on their and live on their land. The next generation brings two girls for Irene and Val and a daughter for Bertha and Joseph. As the families cope with the hardships that come with changing times and fortunes, and people are born and pass away, the characters learn the importance of living one's life boldly and squeezing out every possible moment of joy. This sounds like a great book, and I am looking forward to reading it. So, this one is called Family. It too is by J. California Cooper, and this one is actually the book she said that she had thrifted. And of course, I wanted to get that one because that is the one that she was specifically raving about. And so this one says, set in the years just before and after the Civil War, Family tells the story of four generations of African American family whose emotional and spiritual center is always a willful, resourceful, and gentle young woman born into slavery. Her mother, Cora, narrates a tale of life lived in the shacks behind the big house where the degradation is constant, stability is unknown, and the normal bonds of family seemingly impossible to maintain. First from life and then from beyond the grave, Clara watches her daughters and her descendants. She sees the pain and gives witness to their deliverance. Throughout, always endures and family prevails, creating her own destiny with a unique combination of hope, humor, anger, patience, imagination, and ingenuity. Family is a hauntingly beautiful testament to the dignity of the human spirit, to the joy that lies at the center of life, and the exonerable bonds of kinship that joins us one to another. I cannot wait to read this. And then, last of all, is post traumatic slave syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy. So I have seen so many of her videos, and I really, really wanted this book. This is supposed to be a book of healing. So even though we were not around at that time, we can still suffer from post traumatic slave syndrome. And a lot of the things that happened back then are happening now, and it just looks different. And so, as an example, say back then when they were enslaved, if they did not want they didn't want them to sell their children or whoever the person was, they would then degrade them by saying, oh, don't take them. They're lazy, they're dumb, they're stupid, don't take them. And of course, they didn't want anybody who was lazy, dumb, or stupid. So sometimes I guess that would work, and they would say, oh, no, I don't want them. I guess. But it shows up today, sort of like you have some mothers who will say, um, you know, get away from me. I can't stand to look at you. You look like your dad. Or, you're dumb or stupid, or, just those negative things that they say. And so that is something that was passed down, you know, through slavery. And so she gives a lot of great, great examples, and I can see how that works. And I love, love, love history. And yeah, so I want to read this book and see what she has to say. So I don't want to end this on like a sad note, but I know you guys have probably read these books. I know a lot of you guys have read, what's it called? Uh, the House of Eve. But let me know in the comments if you guys have read these books, and if you have any recommendations for me. I'm open to it. Just drop them in the comments. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. See you soon.